everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Katie, and today I'm doing my weekly book review on The Seamstress of Acadie. So, The Seamstress of Acadie is Laura Frantz's newest release. It came out last month, and I don't know why it took me so long to finish this book. I started it last month, and so many books got in the way, but I started this one, and it is so good. I binge read like the last 3/4 of it. It is just so good. My first experience with Laura's books was last year with her Rose and the Thistle, which I did really enjoy. I gave it 5 stars. Now I'm thinking about it, it's probably closer to 4 stars, but this could be in my tops of the year. It was really good. So in this one, we're following a girl named Sylvie, and Sylvie has lived in Acadie, which is now Nova Scotia in Canada, and she has lived there her entire life, really. Her family were immigrated from France, I believe. Yes, France, and so her family has lived in Acadie's for pretty much her entire life, and she's grown up there. She's used to the wilderness and the wild of the country, and growing apples in the orchard and creating, which I wish I could taste, this amazing apple cider that they make. Like, I need a good apple cider because I don't really find that many that I enjoy. So, but anyway, so this is during 1754, and this is when I had no idea about this time in history. And it's about this time when in Acadie, the English were coming over and trying to have a victory over the French in Acadie. And so they were pretty much driven out of their homes. Not pretty much, they were driven out of their homes. And so we're following Sylvie as her and her family, they are captured by the English and are sent to on these ships, which were supposed to go all the way back to England or Europe, that area. But on the way, when they're captured, she loses quite a few family members along the way, just to let you know. But she ends up being in a shipwreck during a storm and is found on the shores of Virginia. And so we're following her. You know, she's all alone. She's trying to figure out what's going on. And she met this man back in Acadie when she was there. His name is Will. He is inspired by a true character. Can't remember who it was. Major Robert Rogers, who founded Rogers Rangers, which also created the U.S. Rangers. And so Will's character is based off of his character. Well, Will was working for the English at that point when he first met Sylvie in Acadie, and he was trying to find her brother to bring him in. And so she had no idea about that. So they first meet, and then she finds out who he really is, and she's like adamant, like, I hate him. He's working with the English. I want nothing to do with him. And so as she's trying to find a job and trying to cope with all that, Will ends up being in the same town that she is in Virginia. He pretty much renounced all of his ties with England. He found out what they were really doing to the French people in Acadie, and they weren't doing anything. They weren't on anybody's side. They were just trying to live a quiet life in Canada, and they're stripped of everything that they own. And so Willow's like, I want no part of this anymore. Like, I can't be a part of this anymore. So he decides to quit and move someplace else. And so he ends up running back in to Sylvie. And of course there's some tension. This is like an enemies to lovers romance, because it's just, the romance in here was so good because it was very believable. And I like that, like, it wasn't really a miscommunication. Like, I hate those. It's more of like how would you explain something that's not miscommunication, but like she doesn't really understand what he's really like what he really is about and why he's really in Virginia. And so it's just a really great story about survival, about lost faith and lost hope and trying to find that again, and just trying to find a home amongst strangers people who don't want you in their homeland. You know, there's people who are still on ships that aren't even allowed in Virginia. She's only there because a captain of a ship found her and some survivors, so she's able to go into Virginia. And so, yeah, it's just a story about struggle and about new hope too, and new love. And it was a really great story. I really highly enjoyed this one. Definitely you need to read this. If you're a fan of Laura Frantz's work, I can understand why this is people's favorite, because so far it's my favorite of her books. So I'm so excited that I got a chance to read this one. I really loved Will's character and Sylvie's character. I thought they both were really great. I loved that Laura Frantz integrated like a bunch of French words and French sayings, but she does it in such a way where it doesn't feel forced. Like, you either understand what the context is. I do speak a little bit of French, not much. Please don't ask me to speak in French, because you are never going to hear me speak French. But like, you can either understand the context, or she does it in a way where like she kind of like, you know, kind of explains after the fact like what it means. So, but really, really great story. Some words I had no idea. I probably should have looked them up, but but it was just such a sweet romance story, plus a book about strength. And there's definitely a little bit of things that don't quite add up or end up going wrong for our main character Sylvie in the end of the book. That felt a little rushed to me, how there was like something that went on at the end where I felt like it was kind of rushed in the last 3 chapters, but I don't know, maybe if it was more, it would have been too drawn out. But anyways, I just thought it was really great. So thank you to Baker Publishing for sending me a copy of this book, because it was great. It was really good, and I loved all the characters. Oh man, there was this one girl. She was a peach. I thought honestly she was gonna be a friend, but she wasn't. So I don't know if you can guess who that is, but but I just really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to tell Laura. You know, I'm friends with her on Instagram, and I can say, Laura, your book is amazing. I loved it, and people need to read it because it's so good. All right, so I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video.